Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Hosts Show 101. I am your host, your ghost host, Wes Truth, and I am back with another history episode this week. Well, we are going to finish up 1955 Fantasyland right now, and there's one more thing that we want to talk about before we move on to Tomorrowland, and that is, you ready to come on Ride the Train? It is an attraction that's still there today, and I've been on it, so let's check it out, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Jr. Circus Train. Favorite attraction of young guests today, the Casey Jr. Circus Train started out a little bit differently. Imagineers originally wanted it to be Disneyland's first ever roller coaster that would wind through the hills of Fantasyland. The attraction is based off of the train of the same name from the 1941 animated film Dumbo. The train vehicle itself was created and installed by Arrow Development. The small train includes the engine with the face of Casey Jr. on it. Also, 2 sleigh cars which were taken from the carousel which would become King Arthur's carousel, 2 cars created to look like animal cages that have wild animals and monkeys marked on the cars, and of course, a caboose. Soon before Disneyland's opening, during the testing of the ride, Imagineers realized the attraction wouldn't really work as a roller coaster or give the riders much of a thrill. They also thought the current version would cause many maintenance problems in the near future. Casey Jr. Circus Train was shut down immediately. While Disneyland opened on July 17, 1955, Imagineers were still making adjustments to the Circus Train. They reworked the lift hills and down ramps to make it a tamer ride. Satisfied with this version of the attraction, Casey Jr. Circus Train officially opened on July 31, 1955. During its first year, the attraction didn't have any exciting sights to see, except the mud banks from the Canal Boats of the World ride, and was just a normal mini train ride with a mini hill. In September of 1956, the miniature scenes were added, turning the boat ride into the Storybook Land Canal Boats attraction, which of course, if you haven't seen the video on that, go back and check that out. That was just a couple weeks ago. Casey Jr. Circus Train gives its passengers a similar tour of the miniature buildings, but at a quicker pace. The train originally had a recorded narration from the ringmaster, no, not Jerry Springer, but today just plays a recording of the Casey Jr. theme song instead. Casey Jr.'s coming down the track with a hairy... Today's version of the Casey Jr. Circus Train starts out with the train calling out, "All aboard! All aboard!" And once you're locked in your cage, that's nice, or your seat, the small locomotive begins its journey. It passes by the miniature scenes of the houses of the Three Little Pigs, the English Village from Alice in Wonderland, London Park from Peter Pan, Royal City of Agrabah with the Sultan's Palace and the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, the Dwarf's Cottage from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the French Countryside Village and Mountaintop Castle from Cinderella, the Kingdom of Arendelle from Frozen, which was just added a year ago, Toad Hall from The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, and of course Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, the Alpine Village from Pinocchio, and Prince Eric's Palace and King Triton's underwater castle from The Little Mermaid. Below the tracks, you can see people riding in the Storybook Land canal boats, getting a narrated tour of the area. Throughout the sights, the train rounds the corner and is confronted with a short yet steep hill. As the engine chugs its way up the hill, you can hear it saying, "I think I can, I think I can." Once the train clears the crest of the hill, it starts saying, "I thought I could, I thought I could," as the music from that particular scene from Dumbo plays. The engine finally becomes tired and returns its passengers back to the station. While in line, look for the small building with the shingled roof. It was originally the ticket booth for the attraction back in the day. The little shack was originally designed by Disney legend Bruce Bushman. Casey Jr. is also one of the few Fantasyland attractions that keeps operating during Disneyland's fireworks show. You can also find a different version of the attraction over at Disneyland Paris. Oh boy, this version is known as the Casey Jr. Le Petit Train de Cirque. And that actually wasn't bad. Okay, cool. The newer variation of Casey Jr. Circus Train is a bit more of a thrill and is a roller coaster for small children, creating a more rapid journey through Storybook Land. The attraction is actually a great ride for youngsters not quite brave enough to try out the bigger rides, but it's just fast enough to provide enough excitement without being scary. Much like the California version, riders board the various compartments of the train, which include circus animal cages and carriages, before it pulls slowly away from the platform. As it chugs its way toward the first bridge, the sound of the engine puffs away, "I think I can," until it edges its way over the bridge and speeds away, accompanied by the Casey Jr. music from Dumbo. Throughout the journey, guests can catch a glimpse of just a few of the models, such as the Beast's Castle, which line the banks of the Storybook Cruise, and the boats that they drift slowly by. This version also has 3 trains that can operate instead of 1. Casey Jr. Le Petit Train de Cirque opened on March 1994. While it may look more like a kiddie ride from the queue, Casey Jr. Circus Train is a fun little attraction for children and older riders alike. So I've only been on this attraction once. Back in 2014 I went on. And, last time I didn't get on because it really does cover both this and the Storybookland Canals. You don't technically have to do both because it covers the same area. But I wanted to go on both just to say I did. I enjoyed this ride. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a nice little train ride. It's, 3 minutes and 30 some seconds long. Yeah, I prefer the Storybookland Canals because it's something pretty much different, and it goes at a little more of a leisurely pace. You get the narration, but for people, like if the Storybookland Canals have a really long wait or they're closed because of a parade or something, you can check out the Casey Jr. Circus Train. Kids are going to see those monkey cages and whatnot, and sometimes they put parents in there and whatnot, so they might want to ride that too. I think the train will appeal to kids more than the Storybookland Canals, because Storybookland Canals is a more relaxing ride, and that's one that the parents, I think, enjoy more than Casey Jr. But I enjoy both. So it's a different type of ride, but yeah, I enjoy both. So if I had to choose, if I could only pick one, I'd probably pick the Storybookland Canals. But Casey Jr. is cool too. Alright, well, that's the episode for this time. I'll be back very soon with another Hitchhiking Hosts Show 101, where we're going to venture on into Tomorrowland of 1955. Should be interesting. Until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Follow on the Twitter and the Instagram at HitchHostShow. And of course, if you want to listen to the show, or you are listening to the show, you continue to do so on Podbean. It's hitchhostshow.podbean.com. And also, you can search for the show on iTunes, there we go, or Stitcher under The Hitchhiking Host Show or West Troop. Until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back,
for the next episode. See ya.